Welcome to The Secrets of Success. By following the proven techniques of the guests who appear on this series, you'll learn that even successful people run into detours and failures, and how you can apply their success techniques to change your life.
You're now listening to the most unique show on radio, the show dedicated to making you a success. If you want to increase your sales, listen to the advice of our guest, David Cook. David, thanks for being with us today.
My pleasure, Bill. Thank you for having me.
David, you've written a great book, How to Be a Great Salesperson, ... by Monday morning. So you're not only going to make us great, but you're going to do it within 7 days, right?
By Monday morning.
By Monday morning.
You are correct.
Now,
yes.
I know a lot of people say, well, wait, this isn't for me now. I'm not a salesperson. But as I was saying to you before the show, I believe in the concept that everyone is a salesperson. My career was basically as a teacher and a lawyer, and I'll be the first one to say, I had to sell students on learning what I was teaching and buying into the concepts and getting their work done. I had, as an attorney, I had to get my adversary to see the world my way. I had to get a judge. We had to talk to clients and explain why maybe things weren't going perfectly the way they wanted it. So we're all selling, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody's involved in sales, whether they realize it or not. But the thing is, Bill, as I'm sure you know, once they do realize that they're involved in sales and they take movement on it, and once they do realize it, that's when the world's going to open up to them and they can get whatever they want out of life.
And that's the great part of all this. And I know from going through your book, when David says you can get everything you want out of life, he's not just kidding. Now, tell us, though, let's go backwards a little bit. How did you first get into sales?
Whoa, okay. The way I first got into sales, oh, my gosh, I was in Florida on my very first spring break, okay, in college, right? Freshman in college. I was in Florida. A friend of mine had a Corvette Stingray, which was the car for a kid at the time. Yeah, I don't know what the car is now, but he let me drive his car. I was sold. I was hooked. Burning desire came over me. I had to get this Corvette. I had to get one for myself. So that's what got me going. And then I started looking for jobs in the newspapers way before the internet, way before the internet. And then nothing was going to stop me. I had to get a job. So I got a job selling air filtration units. Luckily, it was in sales. I would have taken any job. I'd have shoveled this. I'd have served ice cream. It didn't matter. I had to get the money to get this car, but it happened to be in sales, selling air filtration units. And I was so motivated. Their training was you went out on 5 demonstrations and watched somebody do it. And I went out on 5 demonstrations. I didn't see any sales. And the boss thought I was discouraged. I said, I'm not discouraged. I know I can do this. And I did. That's what got me into sales. I wanted to get that car, that Corvette, and I had a burning desire to do it. Nothing was going to stop me.
When I saw, and that story is right in the beginning of your book, but what I loved about that, the people who were training you took you out, but they didn't make any sales. And then you got the job, and you went out and actually sold better than they did.
Yeah, I was working part-time, and I mean, I was on fire. I mean, it's there's like desire and there's burning desire. A person with burning desire can move mountains, and I was on fire, like I said. Nothing was going to stop me. And working part-time, I outsold the full-timers.
And
I've been doing it for years.
I have to say to you, you must be good, because, to be honest, hearing about an air filtration system doesn't really excite me. You know, a Cinnabon excites me. A good milkshake excites me, but an air filtration system, sorry. So you obviously know your stuff.
I made it exciting, and
I'm sure you did.
Clean air is a good thing.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Now, you mentioned in your book that in sales you write your own ticket. Explain to our audience what you mean by that, and put some numbers behind it, please.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the greatest thing about being in sales. What I've always thought, you can say to somebody who's in sales, and once again, we're all in sales, but it's like, well, how much money do you want to make this week? It's like, well, then how hard do you want to work this week? It's up to you. I mean, everybody wants their product sold. Every company out there is selling something. They all want their product sold. So, I mean, you can make 80,000, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, depending on what you're selling, of course. So just review and kind of look at, maybe some big ticket items, if you will, and you work hard and you study, and by Monday morning, you'll be ready to start selling.
And Dave, I will say to our audience, going through my real world experience, you're not just tooting your horn here. I know people who were barely out of college and they were making those numbers and larger numbers in sales.
Oh, yeah.
And in the meantime, other people were paying off debts, going back to law school, going to graduate school, to medical school, etc.
I know.
And so the numbers that a good salesperson can make can really blow people away. I mean, I don't think any of us really know that, if you're good in this field, you can, as you say, write your own ticket.
You can't.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. So I was just going to say, Bill, since I've been in sales for 30 plus years, right? I can't imagine not being able to make all the money I want to make. I can't imagine having a cap. Well, you're making this much. This is your salary per year. Stop right there. That scares me. The fact that I can't find ways to improve myself and sell more and make people's lives better by the products I'm selling them, I just can't imagine a cap on my salary. It just scares me,
I want to be your friend because I think you're really, really rich based on this book. I know you know what you're doing. Now, Dave.
Well, yeah.
You make a point in your book of saying there's a big difference between selling and demonstrating. What is it? Explain that to me and to our audience.
Yeah. Well, one of the biggest things is and it's especially when I go, I see this so much when I go into small businesses. I love to support my small businesses. I really do, because these are people, they're so proud of their work and everything. And excuse me. And I'll go into a small business somewhere, and this person is showing me something. Okay. They say, oh, look at this, whatever it may be, look at this microphone. This is really a good microphone. My family's been making these microphones for years, and they'll be showing me demonstrating the product, but they won't be selling the product to me. They can point out all the great little knobs on this microphone, but they're not pointing out benefits to me of the microphone. You can use this microphone. I mean, it'll really project your voice better than any other microphone around. Okay, that's a benefit. They can say little things like, well, how many of these would you like? Those kind of little closing techniques, how many would you like? They don't do that. That's the difference between just showing somebody how nice a thing is and selling it. How many of these would you like? When would you like to get started with this? I mean, little kinky little things like that people can say that will allow them to sell their product.
And Dave, I want you to know, and I told you before the show, and as I prepared for this show, I started using some of the techniques you're talking about, and I've really got my mindset. I know it takes a few days to I'm certainly not in active sales, but just in dealing with people and trying to persuade them. And I can tell what you espouse in your book is really working. Dave, at this point in the show, we just want to take a few seconds to remind our audience that you're listening to The Secrets of Success on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Bill Horan. Our guest today is David R. Cook. He's the author of a book called How to Be a Great Salesperson, ... by Monday morning. David, can you tell us a little more? Where can we find out more? Is there a website, and where is the book available?
Absolutely. And my website, it's an easy one. It's David R. Cook, C-O-O-K, davidrcook.com. That's it. And you can go there and excuse me, I'm sorry. And you can click on the shop tab if you want. You can see where I got an ebook, audiobook, paperback, and also something I'm very proud of, Bill, is that my masterclass, my online masterclass has recently come out, and that's available on my website, and it's doing extremely well. I'm so proud of it. It's 9 modules with 49 videos, and it's 4 hours and 18 minutes long, and it's just, it's selling like crazy, if I may. It's just doing so well. I'm so happy about that. And you can get that on my website, too. Or you can go to Amazon, if you want, straight from my book, How to Be a Great Salesperson by Monday Morning. Well, so that's where you can go.
We will ask you that again later in the show, so if someone didn't get that down. And I just want to urge people, if you've been looking for that career, maybe a career change, you're saying, gee, I like what I'm doing, but not all that much. Maybe your son is looking, your daughter, etc. This is a very brief book. It's about 150 pages, How to Be a Great Salesperson, ... by Monday morning. And you'll see the ideas make sense. They're simple, straightforward. And if you're that person who can write your own ticket, what a great career you have looking ahead for you. So give it a chance, take a look at it, and go to the website, see if it's calling your name when you read it. Dave, you mentioned that every salesperson must have 3 key ingredients, and that seems to be a big thing in your book that you bring out. And of course, it makes a lot of sense. But can you tell us what those 3 key ingredients are?
Yeah, I call it EBU, EBU, enthusiasm, benefits, and urgency, okay? Those 3 things are so critical because the thing is that you have to get excited. You have to be excited because if you're not excited, why should your customer be excited? You know, enthusiasm sells. You know, you have to get excited. And if I may share just one, oftentimes people will say, oh, you have to get excited. Well, how do I get excited? Well, if I can share just one little thing with you, if I may, as far as getting excited, what you want to do, there's a little thing you can do, you know, just think about the most exciting time. Think about the happiest moment in your life, okay? It may be your first kiss, your first date, when you were married, kids were born, but just think of the happiest time in your life and then lock that thought into your mind, all right? So when you're out in the world and you have to immediately get happy, think about that. Just think about that happiest time in your life, and suddenly you're all excited again. I mean, there's little skills you can pick up that, you know, to get yourself excited. But you have to be excited. That way your customer's going to be. And excited people listen, excited people buy. And then the next one, benefits, okay? Benefits. Whenever you're selling anything, keep in mind that this selling anything, you could be selling your children why they should do their homework. I mean, everybody's selling something, right? But when you are selling something, you have to stress the benefits. Let's take like a baseball, for example, right? Now, let's say you're selling someone a baseball. It could be any product. It doesn't matter, you know. But the person, nobody cares about the stitches on that baseball. Nobody cares about what the leather is made out of in that baseball. The reason why they're buying that baseball is so they can play catch with their kids, or maybe they can hit a home run, okay? So that's what you want to focus on are the benefits. And the benefits are, once again, playing catch with their kids or maybe hitting a home run. The ball is just the way to do it. So focus, you know, you can play catch with your kids, you can hit a home run, because that's what people are buying. Don't go into, look at this stitching, because people don't care about that. Focus on benefits. And then urgency, the last one. Urgency is that whenever you're talking to someone, you're in sales, whatever, urgency, you have to give your customer a reason to act now, or why should they? Okay, there's got to be some kind of cutoff time, you know. It's like if we can do this by so-and-so, maybe you'll get this. There has to be some kind of closing date on it, because if not, your sale can just go off into la-la land. You know, if we can do this by the end of the month, I can do this, that, so... Anyway, so you got it. Urgency separates the stars from the superstars. The superstars in sales, they always use urgency, some sort of cutoff time.
I've always found that, and this obviously goes into other fields, but you do need that time. People would say, oh, give them 30 days. Well, honestly, if I get some mail or if I get a call about something, I'm not going to say, okay, in 27 days, I'll call them back and I'll buy that piano or that jar of jelly or that air machine, etc., or what, you know, whatever. It's got to be that I have to let them know by Friday or the 4th of the month or the 17th of the, you know, some definite date, or by 3:00, whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely, because we're all so busy, everything. As soon as the hottest anyone will ever be about your product or service is the first time you're showing it to them. That's the hottest they will be. And then a day goes by, they cool off, another day, another day, another day, another day. Then they get involved in their life and their world, and they kind of forget about it, you know. And then one more thing while I'm thinking about it, if I may. Whenever you're going to follow up with your customer, remember, you are always the caller. You're never the callee. You never wait for someone to call you, because it's just not going to happen 9 times out of 10. So you be the one, oh, okay, this is great. Well, let me do this now. Unless I hear from you first, when would be a good time to follow up with you? And they'll always say, oh, how about this Friday at 4? Okay, great. We'll do. I'll talk to you this Friday at 4. You know, that kind of thing.
I'm writing that down. Be the caller, not the callee.
Yeah, you're always the caller and never the callee.
I bet you get more dates that way, too.
Yeah, back in my dating days, I sure.
I'm not going to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. Your wife might be listening to this.
Dave, oh, my gosh, I need it.
We have a sense of urgency on our show because when we get to the middle of the show, it's time to remind our listeners that you're listening to The Secrets of Success on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Bill Horan. Today, our guest is David R. Cook, and we'll be right back after this brief intermission.
Your daughter doesn't want to talk about why her room is a horrible mess. Your son doesn't want to talk about why he's wearing mismatching socks. Your spouse doesn't want to talk about their bad haircut. Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk to plan for an emergency. Pack basic supplies in a go bag: water, canned food, flashlights, batteries, medical supplies, IDs, and some cash. Talk about where you'll meet in case you lose one another. And of course, don't forget to pack the dog treats. Talk to your family and make an emergency plan. Go to nyc.gov/readyny or call 311 to make your family's emergency plan. Brought to you by New York City Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Secrets of Success on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Bill Horan, and today we're talking to David R. Cook, author of How to Be a Great Salesperson by Monday Morning. David, there's something in your book you mentioned about how people kind of make a decision about us within 7 seconds. Did I get that right? Because that seems awful quick.
Yeah. Well, Bill, it has been said that people make up their minds to do business with you within the first 7 seconds of meeting you. So you want to make those 7 seconds count. And this is one of the most, this is maybe of everything that I'm talking about for someone who is in sales. And once again, we're all in sales, but when you're in sales, the very first thing that you want to do is for that 7 seconds, the first thing you want to do is get someone laughing. That's the first thing you want to do. No matter what it takes, you get someone laughing. Because when you get someone laughing, they're on your side. They relax. Endorphins are released in their brain. They're happy. People pay comedians, millions of dollars every year to make them laugh. I'll pay you to make me laugh. So that's the first thing you want to focus on, no matter what, is getting someone laughing. And usually it's like self-deprecating jokes work best. It's kind of things like, if you're talking to a customer or something and you say, oh man, if you hear something creaking, that's my bones. I just can't take this cold weather anymore. It's something silly,
And I know you mentioned that in your book. I think, what was it? I think you said to a couple of people, do I still have a rip in my pants or something like that?
Yeah.
And obviously they have to smile or go along with you because they know it's humorous. They don't have to be a comedian, but it's kind of breaking down a barrier, I guess. Is that it?
Yeah. When I was selling air filtration units in college, right, I go into someone's home, I'd set up all my equipment and everything, and I'd look and I'd say, excuse me, do you mind if I take off my sport coat? And they go, oh, sure, go ahead. I would take off my sport coat, I would turn my back to the customer, and I'd say, oh, excuse me, this isn't the shirt with the hole in the back, is it? They'd start laughing. They go, no, you're fine. But the thing is, they'd start laughing. And it never failed, Bill. When someone started laughing, after that, immediately it was like, oh, can I get you a drink? Everything, Now they have a friend. I made them laugh. They relaxed. This is a funny guy. This is going to be fun. Yay.
And we all like that, right?
Yeah, I'd rather be around people who make me laugh. Somebody makes me laugh. Oh, okay. Where's my credit card? What do you want?
Dave, following through with that, you have a very simple statement here, and I think that, we always say to our audience, if there's one thing you're going to write or take away from the show, you say your attitude is your customer's attitude.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a reflection of what you're saying. If you get them laughing and kind of at least talking to you, not putting up a barrier, there's communication. And maybe they want what you're selling, whether it's a donut or an air filtration system or a gadget for the car, or maybe they don't. But at least they're listening to you and seeing if this will make their life better or make them richer or prettier or, whatever. So
you hit the nail on the head, Bill. At least they're listening to you. Yeah.
And that's, again, what every salesperson, I guess, wants, to get out there. Now, How do we get that great attitude, though? For a lot of us, it's hard. We're getting up early, we're in traffic, we get to the office, maybe someone spilled something on our desk or moved something and it upsets. You know, the usual daily little picadillos.
All right, here's the thing. Okay, I got that one too.
I know you. I read the book.
Here comes another goodie.
Go ahead.
Okay, so, anyways, it's so funny, Bill. As everybody knows, I mean, people, they get up in the morning. The first thing they put on are their clothes. That's not the first thing you should put on. The very first thing you should put on is your attitude. We wear an attitude the same way we wear clothes. People can see your attitude like they can see your shirt. Okay, so what I do, and everybody else can do this also very easily, or your own style. It's like every morning I set my alarm for 6:20 a.m. Okay, but I get up at 6:30, and that 10 minutes there, I start my affirmations. I have these daily affirmations. I am blessed. I am confident. I am the greatest salesperson in the world. I am this. I am that. Whatever your I am is, but make sure you say I am. Google the power of I am. It's extremely powerful. Don't say you are extremely confident, because it's like you're telling someone else. But go through, I am blessed, I am confident, I am happy, I'm going to do my best today, things like that, And then I say a little prayer for the whole wide world, and I pop out of bed, and I'm ready to rock. It's like, whoa, let's do it. And it's kind of like, too, like my work, it's like I don't have to go to work. I get to go to work. That's the way I look at it,
Well, I can see you definitely have that enthusiasm. And I like, and again, your book has a couple of, more than a couple, but at least from the point of the show, which is about a half-hour show today, the power of I am, because I know you say in the book how magical it is that when we start saying that to ourselves, and believe it or not, I do this stuff, and I've been doing it for years, and I find, in my mind at least, one of the things it does, it takes away the negative. Rather than me sitting there and saying, I've got to go out in the rain, I say to myself, I am a teacher, I am a lawyer, I am this, I am that, I'm an officer of this club. I have to be there because I'm important. And all of a sudden, instead of kind of shrinking down, my chest goes out, well, I'm important, I have to be there, or they rely on me, or my daughter wants me to pick her up, whatever it is. But those are magical words. And just to stress to our folks and someone listening, and you mentioned this, of course, that the words I am. So when we're thinking of this, and saying what we're doing for the day, put that I am in front, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Another good lesson. And right now, I am going to do a commercial and mention to our audience that you're listening to The Secrets of Success on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHBC. I'm Bill Horan. Our guest today is David R. Cook, and his wonderful book is How to Be a Great Salesperson by Monday Morning. David, would you tell our audience, if they've been hearing all these good things, where can we get the book, and is there a website where we can learn more?
Absolutely. The website is very simple, davidrcook.com. David R. The R stands for riches are coming your way, by the way. But it's David R. Cook, davidrcook.com. Okay, that's the website. And then from there, and by the way, everybody, when you go to the website, you can sign up for my email list if you would, because every month I put out free motivational videos and free motivational information every single month. So, sign up for the list. You get a free motivational email or video. And also, I was telling Bill, I'm so proud is that my masterclass recently came out. It's selling like crazy. I'm so happy. And the masterclass, it's 9 modules with 49 training videos. You just sit back and listen. It's 4 hours and 18 minutes, and I'm just so happy and so proud about it. And you can go to my website, and my book is available. The ebook is available. The audio present, it's all on there. You go to the website and click on shop, and you'll find all my information. But that masterclass, like I say, I'm so thrilled about. It's doing so well. I'm so happy. So many people are loving it.
We can definitely see your enthusiasm. And David, I want our audience to know that if you heard part of today's show or you thought, who is this guy again? Let me hear more, or I'd like my son or my uncle to hear it. You can go to nccradio.org. That's nccradio.org. Just look for the show Secrets of Success, then scroll down to How to Be a Great Salesperson with our guest David Cook. You can listen to the show as a podcast. You can recommend it to other people to listen to. And if you get 1, 2, or 3 great ideas from here, this could be the start of that career. And, you know, a lot of us are waiting for our ship to come in. This may be your ship. It's coming in. Don't let it get away from the port before you jump on it. Take advantage of it. There's a lot of great information. And again, you don't have to be a salesperson. You can be a principal, teacher, pastor, accountant. You're going to use this in your profession some way. Now, Dave, in the book, you mentioned some letters that should be important to everybody. WIIFM. It almost sounds like a radio station, but I know it's not. Tell us what that means and how your son got involved with that.
Oh, yeah, WIIFM. That stands for What's in It for Me. Okay, so when you're talking to someone, and if you're in sales and you talk to someone, all they really care about is what's in it for me. That's all. That's what they want to know, is what's in it for me. And there's where you have to stress the benefits, like I was saying earlier. Like, you know, if you're selling a baseball, it's not the baseball you're selling. What you're selling is the fact they can play catch with their kids. They just want to know what's in it for them. That's all, and that's really all they should care about. You know, so. Whatever product it is you're selling, stress the benefits. Selling a baseball, they get to play catch with their kids, they get to hit a home run. But that's the radio station WIIFM. And how it relates to my son, I don't know how much time we have, Bill, if I can tell this quick story.
Sure, we got about 45 seconds.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I wrote my book for my son because I heard somewhere that everybody should write an autobiography. Everybody should write their own story. So I have all this knowledge, 30-plus years knowledge in sales, and I wrote it for my son because I don't want to leave this earth thinking there was something I could have told my son that could have made his life easier, and I didn't, okay? So it's all my heart and soul is poured out into the book. And I wrote it for my son. So it was written, Jack Canfield I was talking to recently, Chicken Soup for the Soul. He said, so it was written with love. And I said, yes, it was. And I think you'll pick up on that when you read the book.
Oh, it definitely did. And I think our audience can feel, number one, your enthusiasm. And Jack has been on our show numerous times. I think we were one of the first shows when he first came out with Chicken Soup for the Soul. I thought it was a book about delicatessens, but we had him on. But today we're talking about you. And before we wrap up, we want to remind our audience, the book is How to Be a Great Salesperson by Monday Morning by our guest, David R. Cook, C-O-O-K. David, once again, give us that website.
Yeah, go davidrcook.com.
Easy enough to remember. And for our audience, remember, if you'd like to hear the whole show or recommend it to a friend, go to nccradio.org, go to Secrets of Success, and How to Be a Great Salesperson by Monday Morning. David, thanks so much for being with us today. We've enjoyed it, and I think you've made a lot of people lots better at sales.
It was an honor. Seriously, I sincerely thank you.
No, thank you. I'd like our audience to know that you've been listening to The Secrets of Success on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Bill Horan, asking you to please join us again next week at the same time when we will continue our journey to success.